Hey everybody, it's Mike Biddle from TYCO US1 Today I'm going to do an updated video that's going to properly show you how to tear down the chassis and get it cleaned and running like new again. These usually don't run real great if they've been in storage for years, but the good thing is with a little bit of TLC they'll run like brand new. I'll put a link in the description below and on our website at TYCO US1 to the items that you need to restore your trucks. The first one's going to be the liquid bearings. That's for the motor. The super lube is for the gears. And you're going to need tires. There's two styles that are available. We'll link to those on the website also. And then you're going to need some cleaning vinegar as well, and a little screwdriver. It doesn't hurt to have a soft bristle toothbrush as well. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the screws off of the pickup shoes and get those soaking, because those do take a while. You don't need to sandpaper these or anything. They'll actually look like brand new again after you soak them in the cleaning vinegar. All right, so I've got my vinegar, and then, by the way, if you want one of these mats, I'll link to that too. I got this as a gift. So we're just going to unscrew these two screws here that hold in the washers. See, they just drop right off. So there's two pieces. And these are very hard to find, almost impossible. So now you have access to the, I like to shake them out if I can as much so you don't bend them. So we're just going to drop those down in the cleaning vinegar, and I'm telling you, when it comes out, it's going to be insanely clean. So after that has started, go ahead and remove the tires. And some of these, if they're all, look at that, they have to be replaced. It's like literally breaking apart. So the tires have to be replaced, or your trucks are not going to run properly. They'll just sit and spin. And we've got brand new modern silicone tires. Look, that actually rubbed some gunk off on my hands. But you can replace the tires, and that'll actually help quite a bit. So if you're not familiar with chassis, there's two tabs on each side that they click in place. So that's where you want to kind of like pull it apart, and then it's going to come right off. All right, so we can set the that aside. Now, the first thing that you're going to want to do is remove the rear weight, and we're going to do that with a flat screwdriver. So let me grab that. I've got my flat screwdriver. Now, the same thing applies here. It's hard to see in the video, but this weight clips into the chassis also right there. So what you want to do is get your screwdriver kind of flathead down underneath there and kind of pry it down and up, and see how that just kind of came right out, and then it'll come out of place. This needs to be cleaned. And then now we can get a really good look inside. You can see when we get close in there, all these fibers. That's actually what's slowing the things down. It's really not so much, the lubrication. We're just going to do that because we have to disassemble it. But that's actually, a significant issue. Let me show you how to pop this electric motor up. One thing I want you to take note of is notice that on the top, the magnets on either side, this side and that side, that black strip, they're both black. Those need to be facing back up when you put the motor back in, or it will run backwards. There's a little red strip on the other side, I'll show you in a minute, that actually designates that that's the bottom. All right, so what we're gonna do is this is metal right here. This is how I do it. Now, if you break it, you're on your own, but I've never broke one. I hold the chassis firmly, and then I just put this underneath and then pull up. And then as you can see, the motor comes right out, and then you're just basically left with the chassis itself. And then these come out also. If you really want to clean the whole thing down, you can just push these out from the bottom. And then as you can see now, they're gone. All right, so these are all your pieces. This is your square washer, which you're not going to find those anywhere. We do have the screws if you're missing a screw, which I'm sure some of you are. So we do have those if you need those on our website. They're exact fits. Okay, so this is, you know, I just cleaned this with some Dawn and a scrub brush. So I'm going to leave that up to you. You don't need to be shown how to clean that. It's a piece of metal. Just dry it off real good when you're done. You can actually, if you want to, you can clean this chassis also. And if these are loose, it's okay to go ahead and take them off. I don't like to pull them off if they're not loose, just because it can cause issues. But see, that gives you enough room to get down in there and pull the fibers out and clean that out. So clean that out really good. Again, you don't really need me to show you how to clean. Just make sure you get it all out. And then I'm going to go ahead and clean this out myself, and then we're going to come back and show you the results. You can see I've already got quite a bit of fibers out of there. You can see here, this is actually, that'll come right off. So that's gone. So this is pretty clean. Now, if you notice that it's a lot of oily residue in there, that's from where somebody's put oil in here over the years, which you don't want. If this is really oily, you need to just use some Dawn and clean it out. This one's not necessary, so I'm going to leave it as is, and we're going to just hit it with some compressed air and make sure that we've got all the fibers out. Now make sure you don't blow your compressed air on your your stuff up here. I'm going to do this actually off camera. So we're good there now. So now we're going to move on to the motor. So as you can see, I already removed the most of the fibers off of there. A lot of times they're also in the gear, so I like to take a hobby knife and just run it through there gently, and you'd be surprised. You can see it picked up a little bit of something on, you might see it on the camera. Again, hit it with some compressed air. All right. And then now we're going to take our liquid bearings, and I'm going to hold the motor. It only takes one drop, so you can actually, I can see the drop. You probably can't on camera. It's down in there. So now I'm just going to work the motor, go up and down with it. This is just kind of like a little extra step you can do. And then when you're done, you can dab that off with a Q-tip or a paper towel. The excess. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. Now, yes, you can further disassemble this, but I'm not, like, it's not necessary. I've done 100 or more of these, and then you've seen my videos. They race around the track like they're brand new, or better than brand new. So we're going to let that work in, and then you see this is the side with the red. That's the bottom. On this side here, you'll see it's red. This is the top of the motor. Now, I wait to put my super lube on until I've put the motor back in. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this tire off, actually, and get this gunk off before we do that. Now look at this. This was just, you know, pretty quick job, and this is going to run great when we put it back together. So, which we're going to do that now. So what we're going to do is put your finger on this and flip it over and go ahead and screw it in. You don't have to screw it in all the way. As a matter of fact, you can't, or the motor won't go in. Just enough to keep that washer in place so it doesn't come loose. And then we're going to do the same thing for the other side. Just put that down in place. All right. And then I'm going to use I'll hold this with my finger and flip it over and go ahead and screw that in. Again, don't screw this in all the way because you have to take it off anyway. If you do, the motor's not going to go down in place. All right, so now we're ready to put the motor back in, and it has to be, remember I told you, with the two black sides up. If you see this red, it will make it run backwards. So basically, what's happening is the power is going to hit this side and this side. So when you put it in, when you seat that in place, you're going to want to get it in between those two. So you may have to push one over a little bit and then see how it's on each side. And then once you have that done, you can kind of push it in place, and just from both sides, it'll pop right in place. And then you can just move this and see that it's done correctly. All right, so now the next step is to use our super lube. Now this is the only thing that you ever use in the gear compartment. People over the years use oil. That's a big no-no, because that's going to build dirt up. So all I do is take a little bit. It doesn't take a lot. Just take a little dab and run it across there like that. And then just use your thumb and work it in place. This also ensures that you have everything lined up correctly. Go ahead and put this other wheel back on the other side. All right, so we're almost home free. All right, so what we want to do now is take the weight, and you'll notice on the sides it has little clips on it, and they're going to align with that. So it's going to go in this way because that's where your clips are. Just line it up and push. And you can see it clipped right in place. All right, so now all we have to do is check our vinegar. Wow. Every time that I do this, I'm like, this is insane. 40 years worth of gunk is just removed in an instant. All right, so when you take these out, you'll want to use a couple of Q-tips on them before they dry. Make sure they're flat. You don't want to bend these, because look at this. You'll get a little bit of dirt off of there that way also. And then the other side's going to be a little bit more tricky. Because like I said, you don't want to bend them out of shape. Just clean it as best you can. Anything's better than what it was, that's for sure. You can even just run them along the paper towel to get that surface off. So yeah, this is going to work great. Once you've got these ready, you have to take your screwdriver and take out the 2 screws that we put in there earlier. we use those to hold the contacts in place when we're putting the motor in. Otherwise, it's not easy. So we're just going to gently put these in place. You don't really want to bend them a whole lot. They have to a little bit to come in place, but it should go in fairly easily on their own. Once those are in place, you get your square washers, and there's two little dots on the washers that you can actually see that are going to be all right. There you go. Two little dots that go on the top. And then we'll put our screw on there. Usually you have to use your thumb a little bit to kind of keep it in place. But you'll see how this works. There's my cuckoo clock. How when you push it down in, it raises the pickup shoes up. And if you put the washer on upside down, it's not going to screw in place properly, so you'll know. I'll show you here at the end anyway. You don't have to get them on there super tight. All right, so there's the final product. And you can see they have a little bit of give to them. And then now we just have to put the tires on. If you buy the ones in our link, which they're not actually ours, it's just somebody we recommend, the shiny side goes on the inside. So you're going to have new tires, and then you just pop your chassis back on like we talked about earlier. You line it up with the clips, and then let's go run it and see how this thing does. All right, so if you have, you know, a really old truck that's not ran in a while, sometimes you have to take the back tires off and let it sit and run, get the motor going, but we're not going to do that in this case. Also, this is running an AFX upgraded power supply. I've actually got a video that shows how to do that on the website, but let's take a run and see how it goes. See if we can get a train wreck. Oh, nope. Cleared. All right, thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful.